Okay, so we are going to discuss how to install Python 3 and pip on a version of Mac that does not already have these installed. Um, the first thing we're going to do is open up a terminal. The way you do that is by hitting Apple space, typing in terminal, and that brings us up a terminal. What I'm going to have you do first is just run a simple command, ls. That lists where you are in your directory. I believe that if you do not have Xcode tools installed, you'll be prompted to install Xcode when you type out ls, because those give you your command line tools. So you will want to install those Xcode tools if it asks you to. The second thing I'm going to do is type out Python and hit tab a couple of times before I've fully completed it. You should be able, actually I'm going to do Python -- version. So it says my Python is running 2.7 and I have Python installed. Mac comes with Python installed, but I specifically want Python 3 for this class so that we can keep everyone on the same page because the libraries are a little bit different between Python 2 and Python 3. There was a big change there. So I have Python 2.7 installed. I will be needing to install Python 3. I'm going to do that by following this tutorial, which tells you how to install a newer version of Python. I have not gone through this tutorial yet because Python 3 came installed on my computer and I am setting up my daughter's computer right now. I wanted to run through this tutorial for this video because once I have installed all of these things, I can no longer reinstall them, or specifically I don't want to try to uninstall them and then reinstall them. It doesn't make a ton of sense. So what we're going to go ahead and do is install this tool called Homebrew. This is a package manager for macOS, and that will help us install the correct versions of Python and pip. So I believe you should be able to do this in the directory of the student and not have to have administrative privileges for it. That's actually one of the points of Homebrew, is that you shouldn't have to be an administrator to get things installed. So I'm just going to copy out this whole string here, this ruby-e and everything, and I'm going to go ahead and paste that here. And that's going to download Homebrew for me. It is going to have me put in a password. Actually, it wants me to change to this new curl. So let me run this one instead. Okay. So it gives me, it says that Ruby installer is now deprecated and it wants to be rewritten in Bash. So I'm just going ahead and copying out this exact command that they gave me. I'm hitting Control-C to get out of where I was. And it does tell me that I need to be an administrator to install Homebrew. I shouldn't need to be an administrator to install the things that come after that. So I'm going to paste that command that I copied and run that instead. It's going to have me put in my administrator password. It's installing all of these things. It's telling me where it's going to create directories and things like that. And I'm going to hit return to continue. It's doing a bunch of different sudo commands in there. And it says I've not agreed to the Xcode license. So before running the installer again, please agree to the license by opening xcode.app or running, and I'm just going to run this thing. Type in that, type in my password again, and I'm going to hit enter to view the license, hit Q to quit. I'm going to type agree, and I should be all set. I'm going to use the up arrow keys on my keyboard to get to my last command, this bin bash one. I'm going to type enter again, type enter again. It's going to try installing again. As I said, I'm doing this without practicing at first because I would like the opportunity to run into all of these errors so you can see some of the things that you might come up with. It's getting everything installed for us. Now, as it installs that, we're going to come over here and look at this. We're going to need to export a path. This tells the computer where to look for specific packages. So I am going to go ahead and type this out. Let's see, you can do this. We're going to add this out. We're going to add this line at the bottom of our profile file. You're going to need to do this both. You're going to need to do this in your student's account. So after you get Homebrew installed, you're going to want to change over to whatever account the student is using to do the rest of this. And you won't need sudo anymore. Again, that's kind of the point of Homebrew, is it allows to not need sudo access for all of these things. So I'm actually going to end the video here. The computer doing things.